Welcome to the show. Whether you have a business or career already, or you're just considering starting something new, the question most people eventually get around to asking is, how do I know if I'm living my purpose? Today, I'm going to be guiding you through the 4 steps you can begin to take right now to figure this out. Welcome to the Inspired Wave. This is the podcast and community for conscious female leaders and founders who are ready to enjoy more peace and prosperity in their business while creating more inspired impact in the lives they're here to serve. Who are ready to fully step into their leadership and live their life's purpose with confidence and passion. I'm your host, CJ Rivard. And with over 30 years in leadership and business, I blend tactical strategies with the art of intuition, the science of energetics, and the magic that happens when we create empowered relationships and take aligned action, all to help women get out of hustle mode, thrive, and really fall in love with what they do. If you're enjoying this podcast, please consider sharing it and leaving us a 5-star review. It really will make a huge difference in helping others find the podcast and allows us to inspire and impact more lives. People often confuse purpose and fulfillment, so I'd like to start by just clarifying the difference between these two things. A life's purpose can be thought of as the reason we're here. Why are we on the planet right now? An end goal that we're always taking action on or working toward. Fulfillment, on the other hand, is defined as a feeling of being happy or satisfied. And a lot of people confuse the two because they think that if they're living their true purpose, they will be happy or satisfied. But you see how this is a broken concept. The goal all of us will benefit from having is to be fulfilled right now, to live in the moment and find happiness and gratitude right now. Because of course, happiness is an inside job. It's created by our thoughts, and it's available to all of us, no matter where we are or what our circumstances are. So if you want to be fulfilled and you don't feel fulfilled right now, you can start by focusing on being more present and bringing gratitude into the present moment. And that will help you feel happy and fulfilled right where you are. And ironically, the more you focus on being present and grateful right where you are, the more you open yourself up to intuitive leads and new ideas for your future. And of course, just to reiterate, being happy now does not mean you stop looking or exploring new things and having goals and moving toward your purpose if you're not already living it. Not at all, but you will find it faster when you're happy now. So let's dig into this concept further. First, I'd like to clear up 2 of the most common misunderstandings around the topic of purpose. The first thing I'd like you to understand is that you are always where you're needed to be right now. There's a reason, even if you're not living your purpose right now. There are things we need to learn, knowledge we need to build on, experiences we need to have that we're going to be able to pull from in the future. So there are no accidents, and you're meant to be having those experiences, and everything that we do and experience creates who we are and how we're able to serve in the future. So never beat yourself up for where you are or compare yourself to others, because your journey is very unique to you and there's a reason for it. I'll give you a quick example. I probably didn't start questioning my purpose all over again as an adult until about 12 years ago. And between that time and getting to where I am now, that was not a direct flight. There were a lot of layovers, a lot of exploring, a lot of new experiences and learning. And even after I launched my current business a couple years ago, there's been a lot of evolving and leaning into my constantly evolving purpose. So it doesn't happen overnight, is what I'm saying, but everything that you do along the way will contribute to where you are, who you are, and how you can serve now. So the second thing that's really important to understand is that our purpose may look different at different times in our life. I firmly believe that my purpose a number of years back was to raise my 4 beautiful children. And at that time, at the same time, I was running a business and learning all kinds of amazing things that I needed to know. I had a life filled with purpose, but it looked very different than it does currently. So your purpose can change and may very well change and evolve at different times in your life and as you're evolving. So all those lessons that I have now, both from motherhood and the businesses I ran, serve me well now in my current purpose, is what, kind of to clarify this point and the last point I made. We're constantly building on that foundation. And it's important to understand and not beat yourself up for where you're at and know that things can and will change for you. So this purpose conversation will serve you if you have no idea what your purpose is, or if you thought you did, but you're starting to kind of question where you're at and if this is all there is. And this happens a lot because we change. And so it's just kind of a natural evolution and good for you for not just sticking in the status quo with what you're comfortable with and starting to question. It's really important that we do that. And so we're intentional in how we're showing up and what we're doing. So if you want to discover your purpose, first ask yourself if what you're currently doing really lights you up, because your purpose will really light you up. So what you're doing now may have really excited you and felt really aligned a number of years ago, and now maybe it doesn't, and it's time to explore new areas. So my first tip is you really, really have to listen, tune in to your intuition and what's coming to you around this. What feels like it's calling you? What do you want to learn more about? And what really lights you up to consider doing it? Frequently, we already know the answer to these questions that we're asking, but we're afraid of what we're hearing or what, where it's going because it involves change. So I also want to point out here that our brains are programmed to resist change. So you really want to be intentional in how you look at this and understand that, something can be aligned and that fear may show up and make you think, oh, maybe that's not what I'm supposed to be doing, when in fact it's just your brain trying to keep you safe from doing something new. That's its job. You can thank it and move on, but you want to discern the difference between being led to try something new and being in fear about change. We'll link an episode in the show notes about intuition, and this will really help you out if this is a new area. You really wanted to develop this muscle and understand what's coming to you through your intuition so you can lean into it. Your intuition really, truly is your best resource for figuring this out. So the second thing I want to point out, and this is a big one for a lot of us, is not to overthink and get caught up in perfectionism. I've got to figure this out and get it right. As I mentioned, it took me 12 years from starting to question to get where I am today. Your idea is not going to be fully formed and exactly right out of the gate. You have to start following those intuitive nudges and exploring and learning and allowing new information to come in. But you have to start taking action and exploring. You won't figure this out just sitting and thinking about it. So give up perfection. And I invite you to enter into this from a place of curiosity and fun. And that'll make it happen faster for you. Don't put any pressure on yourself. Just have fun with it and see what comes to you and have fun exploring. And also, don't be concerned about making the right decision right out of the gate or having to change your mind. It's the way it is. And the fastest way to figure things out is to start taking action and being okay with needing to shift a little bit or change your direction. So that brings me to my third tip, which is to really continue to listen to your intuition, review where you're at and how you're feeling about what you're exploring, and tweak your plan and the direction you may be heading in as often as you need to, and be okay with that. Tweak your plan often if you need to. As you start to take action on that first idea, new information or ideas will come into your awareness, or maybe new connections you needed to make. Don't ignore that new information and don't struggle to stay committed to your original plan. You need to be committed to your end goal, which is to be doing something that lights you up, okay? And you want to stay flexible with the process and how you're going to get there. So the fourth and final tip that I have for you is to keep in mind that living your purpose does not have to be what pays the bills. I think a lot of people get really, really hung up on this. It doesn't necessarily equate to paying the bills. So your personality style may not line up with going out and having your own business. And you may find that you're much, much happier working for someone else. It doesn't mean that what you're doing for work shouldn't be enjoyable and something you're proud to do, but it may not be your life's purpose. So keep that in mind, and that's okay. Your purpose does have to light you up, and it does have to impact other people's lives. That's how you know it's your purpose. If you are lit up by getting lost and in flow in just doing something for yourself, a hobby like art, for instance, or I can't think of another example, but writing or something you just enjoy doing for you, that's a fun hobby until it impacts other people and impacts other people's lives. You don't have to make money from it, but you do need to share or somehow impact others with it. So I hope that helps in clarifying how to look at this. Some people are here to lift others simply by their smile and their calming nature. So maybe you have a gift and you feel really drawn to customer service and you think, well, that's not any big deal. That can't be my purpose. Well, maybe it is, because you don't know necessarily how your pleasant, uplifting interactions are really impacting those people that maybe didn't see a smile all day and turn their day around. Don't ever underestimate the value in how you can impact others. I've talked before on episodes about how we lead through our energy and can really impact others by our interactions. So keep that in mind as you're exploring this topic. Some people are here purely to lift others through their frequency. And this is hard to see, but if you have a really high frequency, you will benefit many, many others who are around you. So don't discount that. It's very important. Sometimes our purpose is just to be truly present and happy, and you impact others by your energy and the example that you're leading with. So that's just a few things to give you to think about and get started on this journey and, kind of figuring out your path and your purpose. Let me know in comments if you have additional questions that you'd like me to address in a future episode.